2 wins. So it's a really good mix in there, I think, in that regard.
Yeah, I think. I mean, the performance of Warrington against Wigan, even when they were down to 11 men, really showed that you fancy that they might be in with a chance of something. It feels like a more a better balanced Warrington side, a side that actually maybe could end up near the top.
Yeah, they're just playing with more freedom. And when you play with more freedom and you've got a hooker like Darryl Clark who's so quick and instinctive, that just means that you've got a threat straight away. As a team facing him, you've got a threat to defend straight away, and that's before that man throws the ball out to the people next to him and that. So Warrington looked great.
Yeah.
We'll have to move on now to Friday night, which one of us enjoyed and the other one
Thursday.
One of us didn't enjoy.
Go for it.
Right. We're doing the game that one of us didn't enjoy first. I had this one on the radio whilst I had your game on the television. It is, of course, Castleford versus Wigan. It finished 16-12 to the home side, Castleford. 12-6 at half-time. 8,848 were there. Marcus Griffiths was the referee. In terms of the stats have Cass making more metres, but they have Wigan making both more breaks and more offloads. The real key stats in the result, though, were Wigan's stat losses on errors and penalties. 11-6 on errors and 11-7 on penalties. The home side, conversely, had good discipline, which the away side did not, and that certainly helped Castleford win the game. Individually, Paul McShane, 42 tackles. Chase Blair, 1 try assist, 5 tackle busts and 105 metres. Daryl Alforts, 1 try and 119 metres. And Liam Watts, 127 metres and 4 successful offloads.
Not bad.
And then for the losing Wigan side, my main man Liam Farrell, 46 tackles, 12 of which were marker tackles, 118 metres. Jackson Hastings, 1 try assist and 129 metres. Oliver Partington, 41 tackles, and Willie Isa, 106 metres.
Yep. And fan reviews then. So Helen Gapik got us underway.
I think she prefers us to say Gapik, but I find it more funny to say Gapik because she doesn't like Gapik. And she normally has some sort of dig at Wigan even when Wigan aren't playing, so
I'll stick with Gapik then. So 12 first-team players out, and the performance from Cass was absolutely outstanding. Rankin had his best performance in a Cass shirt, and Macker is hitting some form again. Danny Richardson also did not kick out on the full. A lot to smile about as a Cass fan. Wigan were ill-disciplined and outplayed.
Yep, Fatboy Rob said, 1,352 days since Wigan last won at Cass. Since then, we've had a referendum, left the EU, had 2 general elections, 3 prime ministers, 4 Star Wars films, and found out Prince Andrew is a nonce. It'll be another 4 years if Wigan don't start tackling below the neck. We were about Milner. Right, we're going to have to come back to this nonsense, but
I was just looking at that thinking
Milner, Heppy, Griffin, McMeekan, Foster, Matautia, Fecky, Jesse, Cook and Eden, but don't let the scoreline fool you. Wigan were dominant. P.S. Hastings was shy and Zach is wasted in the centres. I mean, Rob's going to tell us Zach's wasted in the centres until he gets put back to fullback, I think, and it seems everyone on the east of the Pennines thinks that Zach is being wasted in the centres, and it just seems to be in Wigan where we're quite happy with the idea that Bevan French is an exciting attacking weapon at fullback. But this, right, not taking anything away from Cass being the better side and deserving to win the game. This injuries nonsense. Okay, Milner, Heppy, Senny, Lefeo and Cook all play the same position, don't they? Do they not all play as loose forwards? I guess Cook plays a bit more as prop, but they play in the same position. Griffin,
Yeah.
McMeekin and Foster are all second rowers. You can't be without players that can't all be on the pitch at the same time.
How many
Cass
matches
fans
has
can't
Heppy
comprehend
played?
this. They can't comprehend it.
Well, you know what they say about people from Castleford.
It's just I get it. They've got some injuries. Don't get me wrong. They had Junior Moores come back in for the game, though, I think, which was a big factor. So it is good for themselves to see that they're getting some people back. One of the people that they've listed was out because of his own bad on-pitch behaviour, so don't count him as far as I'm concerned.
Well, to be fair, you still got to count him as a player that wasn't there.
Yeah, but in any sort of quest for justice of how amazing you were to only win by 6 points when you apparently were dominant all game, I don't think he adds to the value of things. This is just me being bitter about the loss, I guess. But honestly, I think when you list players that all play in the same frickin' position, you're not without them all, because you can't play them all.
True.
You can't play them all. I'm not sat here saying we were without Burgess and Flower and I don't know, I can't even think of which other prop forwards weren't playing, because we couldn't play them all at the same time. So, you know. Anyway, Jen K.
Jen K said, was too preoccupied by how cold I was to keep track of this game, and there was no scoreboard or clock either, which is ridiculous. Not a lot that was good about Wigan. One to put behind us, I think. No idea who the ref was, but I'm sure when he grows up he could be really good at it.
Ha, yeah.
I don't know that he could, to be honest, Jen. Sorry.
He does look a bit like a little teenager though, doesn't he? Because he's got a very fresh face and he is quite little, and he does look like he still has some baby fat, doesn't he?
See, now you're making yourself laugh. That's not good.
No, yeah.
Was there really no scoreboard or clock? Not even in that really annoying corner bit where it normally is?
No, so I think that's... there is a scoreboard, Jen, at Castleford. It's just hidden behind those sort of cabins
toilets, isn't it?
at the back of the railway end. And the clock, I just think most of the way the place is set up is it's not set up for the fans to be able to see stuff.
True.
And it creates a great atmosphere, especially if you like having piss on your feet and that sort of stuff.
People swearing in your face.
But it does create a great atmosphere most of the time, doesn't it? In terms of the noise level that gets straight into the pitch.
Yeah.
Certainly, I remember last year's game where Cass launched a comeback against Wigan. The crowd really energised that comeback, and they were fantastic. But I think there's other things about that stadium that really don't work well for spectators, and one of them is being able to tell where we're up to in a game, for sure. Yeah, I agree.
Have you got any star players or highlight moments?
Well, the cast spine were impressive, I think, both with and without the ball. McShane and Rankin, they were good. I actually did watch this game back because I've been off work. I watched the full game on Wigan TV this since it was up after the weekend. Although it's just one camera view, so you don't get a lot of replays. But the cast spine were impressive, and Richardson was very controlling, as well as McShane. Been very good, and I thought Rankin was where he needed to be all the time, which was impressive. In terms of, it wasn't really a game high on highlight reel moments though. Wigan had a couple of breaks, but they ended in errors, and Cass, they didn't really have to do anything exciting with the ball to win. They just waited for Wigan to gift them possession and field position through all the regular penalties we were giving away, really. I mean, it seemed almost as if neither team wanted to do anything that might create a mistake or something early doors. They were kind of going set for set, although it did have the sense that Wigan were the side building a bit more pressure. They were starting to turn the ball over closer and closer to Cass's line. But that's when Wigan then started to give penalties away, and then Cass struck their first try. Was one of their first real chances with the ball in good possession from a couple of Wigan penalties getting them up the field, which isn't, a penalty is worth twice as much on that pitch as it is worth on most pitches just because of how short and small it is. And then, then the Chase Blair try, if everyone's seen the highlights, I think that was an absolute fucking embarrassment for Wigan's defence there. It was Bibby and Young Smith that kind of, it got through. It should never have happened. Liam Farrell sort of was on the edge of the tackle and thought, well, they've got this sorted, so didn't go in. I think he needed to maybe think a little bit more that these kids, these younger guys, they're not as good as what I've had outside me before yet. So they need to work on stuff. I need to help them out a bit, and maybe if it had got involved, it wouldn't have happened. But yeah, that was an embarrassment for those guys, I thought. Cass's middles probably won't feel great about what they did for Burns' try either. He just barged through the middle of those, so I suppose that counters that out a little bit. Do you know what Cass were very good at? It can't go on a highlight moment type thing, but Cass were very good with their line speed and their sort of spacing in defence. They made it really hard for Wigan to break them down, especially during the periods of the game where Wigan weren't really trying to do anything to break them down. Yeah. Once the second half came around and Wigan were behind by a full 6 points, I think Wigan did try to do some stuff and it almost worked a few times. And actually, at 12-6, Jake Bibby came very, very close to a try, and I wasn't there, and I certainly wasn't. The camera certainly hasn't got as good a view as the in-goal touch judge had. But when I pause that ball at the point where I think Jake Bibby touches the ball is not over the line. So whether there's been a knock-on or Jake Bibby's got part of his body over the line that you can't see from the camera angle, I don't know. We have to trust the officials, but it was very, very close. And then after that point, Wigan started giving away penalties again, which made the lead unassailable, and Castleford just got that deserved victory. So they ground it out rather than thrilled everyone, but well done, Cass.
Yep. And then we move further east.
To a game that's going to fill lots of our listeners with lots of joy.
Yeah. So it finished Hull FC 25, Rovers 16. At half-time, it was 12-10 to Hull. And there were 19,599 people there to see Robert Hicks with his whistle. In terms of team stats, unfortunately, they're incomplete as they couldn't track Liggy Sow for the full match. Individually, for the winning Hull team, Josh Griffin with one try assist, 12 tackle busts, 139 metres and 3 clean breaks. Mark Sneed with 1 try and 3 try assists. Danny Houghton with 1 try and 51 tackles. Josh Jones with 5 tackle busts and 145 metres. And for Rovers, the losers, Ben Crooks with 1 try, 127 metres. Sean Kenny Dowell with 124 metres and 4 offloads, and Greg Minikin with 155 metres and 2 clean breaks. Reviews?
Yeah, so the first one, very, very brief. Alan Walker says, Sterlo, legend. So before we get into the game bits, you were at the dinner then, and...
I wasn't at the dinner. There was an event on Thursday night, which wasn't the dinner.
Oh, so but, I don't understand what... There's been a lot of stuff going on, hasn't there, whilst it's been over?
There was a dinner on Sunday afternoon.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we went to the event on Thursday night, which was really, really good.
So what was that event? What was it sort of, what did it involve and stuff?
So it was photos with Sterling, and then he was interviewed. Then they got Lee Radford up and sort of did a joint interviewing of both of them. Mm-hmm. And then after the interval, there was Sterling, Lee Crooks, Paul Prenderville, and Trevor Skerrett, who all played.
Putting the band back together to remind you all of the 1985 Challenge Cup final, yeah?
Yeah, it was...
Happy memories.
Lee Crooks was really emotional, said he completely blames himself for the loss because he missed 3 kicks and Wigan only won by, was it 4 points? And at that point, Sterling took the microphone from somebody else and said, "Don't be ridiculous. I didn't even know that you missed 3 kicks. You know, I missed a tackle on Sean